Well, you guys on YouTube, you're back down in the shop with Dave. This will be segment 4 of building the computer desk. Make sure you do view segment 1, which actually I didn't title it segment. I titled it Introduction and Getting Started. So you have to check that out. That's when I first started it. Finally got my top done today. I was really having a rough time though. My little jointer's just not set up for long lumber like that. I mean, you get above 5 foot with that and you just got to play and play and play with it to get a joint. Then we're working on it, and of course my switch burns up. Now I got to run all the way to Muncie to get a switch, clear to Grizzly. A little ridiculous. Nobody around here can carry a heavy duty switch like that. Oh well, that's the way that is. I actually had to make it in 2 halves because, of course, if you watch my other videos, you know I only have a 20-inch planer and I want to make this panel, or top, 24 inches wide. So I'll show you how I did that in a minute. Well, my dear beloved wife just asked me when I was going to clean leaves up. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Should I clean these leaves up or not? There's only a few of them laying there, and only a few million more to fall off all these trees. At least that one's bare. That big tree. Them big trees. I don't know. There's an awful lot of leaves. Of course, there's an awful lot of them on the ground, too. Oh, well, I guess I could please her. There it is. I actually had to bring it up here on my picnic table on the deck because I just don't have the room down there. That shop is entirely too small for large projects like this. But at least it's a nice day out. I've actually glued this half of the panel. Right here's my new joint. And this half of the panel, then I brought them up here and glued them together. You can do it. They're actually already down to finish cut. This is actually how thick it's going to be when I get done sanding it. And the joints really came out nice. There's no hump in it, so it won't be hard to sand. Just keep in mind when you do something like this, you just got to work it from one end of your panel down to the other, and it'll come out pretty flat for you, and you can sand the rest out without putting gouges in your piece. Get it out of the clamps here in a little bit, and then I got to trim my ends and take it back down on my saw and rip it. Well, it's time to trim the panel, and I only have 2 choices of weapons: circular saw or handsaw, and I'm obviously not going to use that. It's only going to rip the edge of my board up anyway. And since I don't have a double end tenor down in my shop, I guess I'm down to just using the circular saw. I just made a homemade fence, measuring over from my blade to my little table on my circular saw, and we'll cut it off. It'll get the job done. It'll be square enough. Well, there it is, folks. Got it ripped, trimmed. All I got to do is get a little sanding done on the back side of it, get that glue off, get my stretchers cut to length, get them glued and screwed fast. And in about 4 days or 5 days after it's polyurethaned, it should be up in the house, and then I can start making my top unit. Now I got to put my bandsaw back and get my toolbox back over there. That's the downfall with a small shop. Can rip about 18 inches on my table saw with that equipment in the way. Oh well. Guess I got to get back to work now.
I knew I could get him to clean his leaves up. You sure does like his toys.
Well, I didn't get a lot of time to work on this today so far. I've had yard duty this morning. But I'll show you what my original plan was. I had actually planned on doing a wraparound on it. And on this front corner, I wanted to put a nice brass bolt through it to add strength to the leg, as well as had my stud in the back. Now I would have had to slot my bracket for this anchor to be able to slide down through once it was in the leg. I wanted to put a nice pan head bolt in it, like that one laying there, except that one's steel. And I went to all the trouble to miter my corners and everything, but my wife didn't really care for the look. And she's right, it wouldn't have matched the coffee table and end tables that we made. She wants me to do it like a conventional table and just run it into the leg like this and then mount it. So I thought I'd let you know I got some changes to make. Plus, she wants the keyboard underneath of it, like the store-bought desk up there. I had intended on putting it on top. Oh well, a little bit of more cutting and figuring, and I'll get it together yet today.